everyone. Welcome back to Huddle Report. My name's Megan, and we have Brian and Carson, and we have a new guest today. His name is Colt. He's going to bring in a different perspective when we talk about college football today. So we're going to talk about the Big Ten, SEC. Is there going to be chaos? We're going to dive deep into it. If you missed last week's episode, stop now and go back and listen. We talked about the Detroit Lions. We recapped 2024. So check that out. We're going to talk about Big Ten and SEC and their dominance. So, are we seeing a semi-pro model when we look at the Big Ten and SEC in their football programs?
I think the SEC is the best conference there is. I mean, hands down. Best talent comes out. I mean, most of the time, it's who gets drafted. It's the winners who gets drafted.
Yeah, I
That's how I
agree. I
look
mean,
at the SEC.
the Big Ten has won the last two national championships, so I mean, it's kind of hard to compete.
Let me just back up a minute and say that Colt is joining us, but really the only reason we've allowed him on the podcast is because he's a Dallas Cowboys fan and we just needed somebody to make fun of. I mean, we just really somebody that we could just pile on top of and say that the Cowboys absolutely suck and they're terrible. And why in the world would anyone be a Dallas Cowgirls fan? So welcome, Cole. Thank you for being here. The Cowgirls suck. Go Birds. When you're answering the question about SEC dominance, yes, the SEC conference has been a dominant conference for many years. And they are pulling top tier talent from all across the country to come to their top tier schools. Hence, a lot of players that come out of SEC schools, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, are getting drafted into the NFL. But what we are seeing with this realignment in these various conferences is we are seeing more top tier talent go to other schools. Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, University of Southern California. All of these schools are now edging up, and now it's becoming more of a level playing field across the country when it comes to college football. And now with the addition and the innovation of this college football bracket system, now we've got utter competition. Now we've got utter chaos happening, and I love it.
Yeah, so we would be foolish to not talk about the NIL. Truly, what I think makes Big Ten and SEC those big dogs is because the NLI contracts and programs that are set in place in these huge schools are backed by money. So if you have a huge school like Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, all these big schools that have a ton of money, of course, now they can offer these five-star recruit high school people from California that traditionally probably would have stayed in California. And now they're like, hey, Georgia's giving me all this NIL money. I'm hopping over there.
Well, I honestly think it's a good thing for the bigger schools. Obviously, if you have more money, better recruits want to come play, but you still have to be able to recruit your home state. So the players in your home state have to want to come play for you. And honestly, I think that's when you're at your best, is when you're playing for a team that you want to play for and where you want to be at.
I agree with that.
Yeah. If you can't recruit from your own state and you're losing top talent from your own state, it's going to put you behind. So it's the imperative on the school to get with what is currently trending, and that is to go ahead and pony up some money for these talented athletes to allow them to increase their branding and their exposure and to generate some income off their name, image, likeness. So I think NLI is a good deal.
Yeah, I really think when you're looking at NIL and you're looking specifically at Big Ten, SEC, of course it's going to benefit them because they have the money to back it up. But then if you look at smaller schools, maybe like Boston College or Big 12, they're really getting pushed down. So it's separating that gap even more with these schools. So that really puts us to our next question. Do we really think for the whole of college football, do we think with the Big Ten and the SEC dominance, is it good or bad for the sport as a whole? If we look at all of the teams.
I think it does have it has its wins and it has its losses for sure. As a whole, like you said, the smaller schools can't keep up with the bigger schools money wise, and that decreases talent because everybody's in it for the money now. So I definitely think it has its pluses for the players, but also its decreases for the players.
Right.
So
Yeah, it definitely has its pros and cons. I mean, obviously the teams that are going to be in it week in and week out every year, that's awesome. But also, once in a blue moon, when that Cinderella team does go on a run, I think that's also very good for the sport as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. Yeah. You're creating that gap, but you're also, with that gap comes like that Cinderella story. You have that team, whether it's football or basketball, when you have that underdog team come up, it really gives them a lot of highlight. Okay. So now let's talk about ACC, Clemson, Brian, in the Big 12. Are they underrated? Are they slowly fading? What's happening with those conferences?
Well, when you have Clemson in the ACC, you're going to have a strong ACC conference. Now you got Bill Belichick on this. That's going to allow them some strength. I don't think it's going to be per se this year, but if Belichick sticks it out there for a few years, you're going to have a really thriving program in North Carolina because a lot of talented athletes want to play for Belichick. And so that provides some strength and stability. Louisville's a great team. They've always been Virginia Tech strong. So ACC is a quality conference. Does the ACC and Big 12 match up against ACC or the Big 10? Probably not, except for Clemson. I think SEC and Big 10 are still going to be the dominant conferences.
I'm going to piggyback off of that. I think the ACC is a dumpster fire. Clemson, I'm a Gamecock. Clemson's never going to be better. Never going to be. Florida State, dumpster fire. Not going to do anything. But Gamecocks on top on that ACC topic.
Isn't the Gamecocks an SEC?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
But
Okay.
he just thinks they can beat all ACC teams.
Except
Except for rivalry weekend, my friend.
Okay, so when I was doing research, I don't know if you guys know about this, but with the ACC signed a contract called the Grant of Rights. And so I had to do some research, and basically they gave up their television rights until 2036. So Florida State and Clemson, they want to get out of the conference, but they can't because even if they were to leave, they are held in a TV contract until 2036. Which is huge. So it's this grant that allows. So when I did research, they said the ACC's grant of right deal is like a financial handcuff. It has kept the conference intact for now, but it's also a major source of tension as revenue gaps grow wider across college football. So even if Clemson or Florida State wanted to move into a bigger networking conference, they can't until 2036.
It's all good.
I think Clemson needs to. I mean, I didn't know any of that, but I think Clemson does need to make their way out of the ACC. I think it would be better for recruiting for them, and it would be a little bit tough. You have to spend a little bit more money competing with ACC teams to recruit, but I think it would be a great move for Clemson as long as they can keep up with it NIL wise.
Yeah, definitely.
Great.
Okay, so on top of that, let's move into Big Ten. Okay, so we each picked a team. So there's quite a few teams in each of these conferences. So we wanted to hone in on random teams that we picked. So another fun fact, the Big Ten is now coast to coast conference. They also signed a $7 billion media deal with Fox, CBS, and NBC. So they are looking at Big Ten is kind of like the NFL, coast to coast exposure, making them almost like an NFL. They get all four time zones, all four time zones, which is insane. So anyways, who wants to start off with their team in the Big Ten?
I selected Penn State University, the Nittany Lions. And the Nittany Lions will come out of the Big Ten. I see an 11 or even a clean sweep for this team, and they will get an automatic bid into the college playoff brackets. And they have by far one of the coolest venues, whiteout. And so let's go, Nittany Lions.
Okay, but do you really think that Penn State is going to be able to get over the hump in beating Ohio State or Michigan?
Yes.
No. Okay, why?
I think Drew Aller, he's a great quarterback. I think he can handle it.
Yeah, they've got enough experience, the coaching culture there. They've got the pieces on defense. They have the Drew Aller with his experience now. I think that, barring injury, I think that this team can finally make it over the hump and win the big game and come out as the Big Ten champ. It's their
So
year.
that's the goal, Big Ten champ, and then you're done.
No, that's their entrance into the college football. No, I mean, I
That's
could
that's a first
conceivably
week
see
bye.
a Clemson and a Penn State national championship. And don't talk to me about Lenore Sellers,
Oh,
Carson. Don't throw the Sellers for Heisman in there.
Okay.
SEC's
Okay.
coming.
Okay, Carson, tell us about Michigan.
Michigan, the Wolverine.
Let's see how much studying you did on this one.
Well, they've always been a very good, very competitive team. They've always produced prospects every single year. I mean, J.J. McCarthy came out there. He's a Viking now. I mean, great quarterback. They've had some very good defensive talent, offensive talent wise, too. And I think they're always going to be competitors. Can never count out Michigan.
Michigan has strong coaching. Shamar Moore is solid. And so that culture up there is going to be strong.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
Michigan got one of the 5-star recruits, the new quarterback. So he was a 5-star recruit. So Bryce Underwood. So even
Solid.
though he's top tier for high school, we'll see how he competes with the big dogs in the Big Ten and SEC and ultimately in the playoffs if they can make it there.
So definitely a big step for a 5-star in high school to come start at Michigan. But if he's as good as they say he is, we'll see how he rolls.
Yeah. Okay, Colt, who you got?
picked Ohio State as my Big Ten team. You can have Drew Aller. You can have Underwood. It doesn't matter. Ohio State has Jeremiah Smith. It doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball. He's going to score. He's going to win games. He won the national championship for them. Yes, they lost their quarterback, but when you're throwing to him, it does not matter. Game's over. You can't guard him, can't stop him.
Yeah, I see Jeremiah Smith as a possible Heisman candidate. He's very solid at wide receiver. So, yeah, Ohio State's going to be strong, too. But
I
they
agree
did
with that.
lose. Yeah, they lost quite a few players to the NFL draft, so they're rebuilding post their national championship victory.
They do have a very young team, but Jeremiah Smith was up there last year, probably the best receiver in the country last year as an 18-year-old, and I don't think there's going to be any step back now. I just think it's going to be bigger and better things from him.
Okay, Cole, do you think Ohio State's going to beat Michigan this year? Even though they lost last year, but won the national championship, do you think they'll beat Michigan this year?
If I had to take those two again, lose to Michigan, win the national championship, I might would take that. But I do think Ohio State, I don't think they'll win the national championship this year. I do think they will beat the Wolverines this year without question.
Okay, good to know. So, fun fact, Michigan State actually doesn't play Ohio State this year on their schedule. Woo!
Yeah, they should be glad.
Okay, so Michigan State is my team. We brought in Jonathan Smith last year from Oregon State. We also brought over a new quarterback who was a backup at Oregon State. His name is Aiden Childs. I think he's going to be amazing this year. We didn't end up making it to a bowl game last year, which is super sad, but I do think we have some really good returning players like Nate Carter. He's a beast. We have wide receiver Marsh. He's going to be a beast. So I really think we have some weapons that are seasoned to move us at least to a bowl game, if not the playoffs. I could see it.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan State has really great chance to beat some technical schools this year. Some 2-year technical schools, so we'll see how that goes.
Our schedule, the first 3 games, we're definitely going to go 3-0. After that, we'll
Probably
see.
not.
But see, the problem. Oh my gosh, no. But Michigan State's having their 4th game of the season. We're flying to California to play USC, Lincoln Riley, the Trojans. So I think that's a huge adjustment for the Big Ten teams too, having to travel so far, different time zones. I think it benefits the media, like we said before. But as the players having to travel that far, we'll see how they do. But we got some pretty good transfers and recruits. So I definitely see Michigan State being a contender this year, but then again, I say that every year and it never really works out. So we'll see. Okay, so let's go to SEC. The SEC is a Southern Division. Colt, you can start us off. Who was your team?
For the SEC, I picked South Carolina. I think they, obviously, if you're in the SEC, you have a tough schedule. No doubt about it. South Carolina should start off 5-0, and then they have to go to Baton Rouge to play LSU. It's going to be tough, but I think Lenore's has a bad taste in his mouth after last season's loss to LSU. College game day, I mean, it was a big game, and losing last second on a field goal, it was just heartbreaking. He went out in the second half with the injury. And I just think if we can start 5-0, get past LSU, then we have Alabama at home. I really do think that Heisman will be able to take South Carolina to the playoffs, and I could see us going undefeated this season. Maybe a hiccup here and there, but I think we're going to have a great season. We got a wide receiver core that has finally got some chemistry together. Nick Harbor quit track, so he's just focused on football all season long, all off season. And I think that is a big plus for the wide receiver.
Okay, Brian, I know what you're gonna say. Hold on.
Rewind.
Let's rewind.
Did Cole just say they could go
Heisman?
undefeated in South Carolina?
Okay, I thought you were talking about something else.
Cole, come on, man. Put the Kool-Aid down, bro. Come on, man.
Heisman. I love it.
Heisman
Yeah,
is.
that's what I was referring to.
Heisman.
Yeah,
I heard
that.
Heisman, but seriously, no, they're not going undefeated. I'm going to pull for and root for the Gamecocks until they play Clemson. And they're an up-and-coming team. They are. They've got a lot of good opportunities in front of them, but they're not going undefeated.
Give it what we got. We'll give it what we got.
Yeah, I feel like so they had what year did Spencer
Rattler.
Rattler? How many years ago did he play? Last year?
2 years ago.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
2
years
2
ago.
years
So I feel like South Carolina's had some pretty good quarterbacks. I mean, he got drafted into the NFL, but they never really did anything with that. I'm sure this
Sellers.
new Leseller, no,
Lenora Sellers.
Lenoris. I'm sure Lenoris is great, but I don't know. I don't think they could do anything with good. But who knows? I don't have to play them.
They're just in the SEC. That's the problem. They've got the gauntlet to run through.
Yeah.
Be the best, you got to beat the best. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Oklahoma is my choice for the
That's
SEC.
Right.
I see Oklahoma as a potential 8-9 victory team. They've got a lot of good things happening. They have rebuilt themselves. Last year was a disappointing season for Oklahoma. But again, they're in a tough conference. They've got to play LSU. They've got to play Bama. They got to play Tennessee. They've got some very winnable games, and I think they could surprise some. So it could be a 9-win team. Now, the question is does a 9-win Oklahoma team, is that enough to get you in the college football? I don't know. It's going to depend. What type of victories do they have? Can they beat Alabama? Can they beat Tennessee? Can they beat LSU, which I believe LSU is probably the most talented team in the country? So can they get over these humps that have prohibited them from really progressing there? Brent Venables, who comes from Clemson, right? He's going to be calling defense now, one of the best defensive minds in the country. And so that's going to make a difference. John Martin is a good, solid, strong quarterback. He's going to be a difference maker. Can they possibly go over the threshold and become a 10-win team? I don't know. But I think they're going to be a solid contender for one of those at-large members going into the football bracket.
I don't really have
much to say on Oklahoma. I think they used to be a great team with Baker Mayfield. I think they have potential, but you're right. They are competing with the top of the line NFL drafted people, and I just don't think they have that caliber of players to really move the needle. And apparently South Carolina's winning the national championship, so who cares?
You heard it here first.
Right, you heard it here first.
When no one else believed, Colt gave
That's
it.
like me saying Michigan State's winning.
Believe.
Not happen. Carson, you got Georgia. Give it to us, dog.
I do have Georgia. When everybody's talking about the big dog teams, here comes the dogs. Dogs come rolling. Taking a hard loss at the quarterback position, but do have Gunnar Stockton back there. Not really worried about the quarterback situation. Defense did lose some guys to the draft, but Georgia produces. They find those monsters in the trenches. They find them. Don't know where they find them, but they find them everywhere. And I think they'll still be a great, solid, all-around team. That's my take on Georgia.
So why do you think Carson Beck moved to Miami? Because he's basically, this is his last year, right? Because he was supposed to go into the draft.
Correct.
So why do you think he made such a big change to Miami last year?
I really don't know what goes in the head of that kid, but I mean, could have been his girlfriend at the time. He was dating one of the Cavender twins. Mm-hmm. Don't know. She does play at Miami, but I don't know what that kid's thinking. he could have won a national championship with the Dogs, but he just had to move on.
Yeah.
That's actually a great hot take, Carson, on motivation to move from Georgia, national championship contender, to Miami. The only thing I can think of from a pure football perspective is he gets to learn a new system, which makes him a little bit more NFL ready potentially. So that could be some motivation too, is you've got a coaching staff over there that enticed him to come and say, hey, learn a new system. You could be more NFL ready when it comes draft day.
I think a main reason he switched there is he saw how Cam Ward performed in that offense, and then saw he was number one pick, and then said, "Hey, why not go learn the same thing he just did, and maybe that can happen for me."
That's
Great.
That's a great take. That's a great take. I
that
like
is
that a
a
lot.
great perspective. Yeah, maybe they put a more emphasis, the NFL does, on other teams that can produce, not just rely on the name of Georgia. That's actually really, really good insight.
That's good. That's thinking, Colt. Cowgirls suck. Go Birds.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I had Kentucky, so I feel like they're a little lost in the SEC. I picked Kentucky because I used to be a cheerleader and I used to stunt with some Kentucky cheerleaders. So, yes, call me a girl, but that's why I picked them. But I really think with their seasoned head coach, this is his 13th season going in. I really think that he has the potential with the opening of the 12-team playoffs. I really think he has that potential to sneak in if they can win some key games.
Sneak into what?
I think even
one
if
or
you
two
bring Will
wins?
Levis back, I think if even if you bring Will Levis back, you win 4 games max.
Yeah.
Kentucky,
Ken-
Kentucky's
Kentucky
they're
is
not
not.
good. The
They're
talent's
just.
gone.
They're just.
Yeah, but they had a bad season,
Just
a
wait
season
for
last year, and
basketball
they won
season.
4.
Yeah, basketball season is soon.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
worry. Basketball season. That's
just
your
wait for
hopes.
basketball.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, so in my research, they brought in 50 new players, including 26 transfers. So I think the coach is trying to do something different. He obviously has been with Kentucky for a while. I think he's trying to do something different. Will it be enough? I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see.
If we can't stay on the SEC topic, we haven't talked about one of the best SEC schools to ever play the game of football, and that's the Tide. Keep rolling. I think
So
Ryan Williams is in the Heisman run for sure as a 19-year-old. One of the greatest athletes in the country. Losing Jalen Milroe is gonna hurt, and they're gonna have to find that quarterback spot. But Alabama always produces.
Yeah.
They'll find somebody. They'll find the guy for the job, and they'll win. They'll win football games.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say about the Tide. Keep rolling.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, when you have these big name schools, Alabama, Georgia, who wouldn't want to play with them? Who wouldn't want to be on that team? Who wouldn't want to wear that jersey? So, yeah, those are great schools. But again, we saw Alabama kind of crumble a little after Nick Saban left. So we'll see. But I think it gives other schools opportunities to rise up, like South Carolina, like Kentucky, like Oklahoma. So we'll see. Okay, see, any other team anybody wants to say something about?
Texas, Arch Manning for Heisman. I don't think it's a question. Going to be the best quarterback in the country. No dispute.
Wow, okay.
That's my Heisman winner. I think staying in Texas, sitting behind Quinn Ewers, it really transformed him. Not only learning from Quinn Ewers, but from Peyton and Eli. I mean, that's 2 great quarterbacks to look up to. He was a spark for the offense last year. Now that he's a full-time quarterback, he'll be the fireball for him when he steps on the field. I think he's my Heisman.
Arch Manning is going to be a stud.
Stud.
That kid is fast. He's big. He's got a huge arm. He's in a great system. Sarkisian is a great coach. Texas is going to be strong. Will they come out of the SEC? I don't know. Will they beat LSU? I don't know. Will they beat Georgia? I don't know. But Arch Manning he's a man.
Yeah.
Agreed. I agree with that.
Let's go to ACC. Brian, kick it off with Clemson.
Clemson, I see as an 11 victory team. I think that they're coming out. They're going to get a bid, and I see them in the national championship game. I think Gabo Sweeney, year after year, continues to build the culture, continues to recruit top talent. Cade Klubnik is going to have a Heisman caliber season. Their offense is strong. Their defense is strong. They've had time for their coaches to settle in. It's going to be a good year for Clemson Tigers. I'm looking forward to when LSU comes to town and we can really put it on those Tigers.
I hate to say it. I'm a South Carolina. I'm a Gamecock till I die. But I think Clemson, they have a chance to win a national championship this year with one loss on their record, and it'll be that week after Thanksgiving. Other than that, I do think they have a really good team, really good defense. Cade Klubnik, he's seen a lot, he's been through a lot, and I'm nervous for that week as a Gamecock, but I do think South Carolina can pull it out, but I also see Clemson making a deep run, possibly winning a third or however many national championships under Dabo.
Yeah. So do we think that Cade Klubnik is within the top 5 quarterbacks?
100%.
In college football,
Yeah.
no. Cade Klubnik's not a top 5 quarterback in college
Really?
football. He's
I
not a
think he
top
could
5
be top
quarterback.
3.
I think he could be. I think he could be number 7 in a top 10. He'll be number
Really?
7.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So who do you
You might
have
be
going
surprised
above
at
him?
how well
I
Klubnik
have
does this year.
I have Archie
Okay.
number 1.
Really? Oh, you went Arch Manning number 1?
Yeah, Arch is gonna make a run. He's big bodied. He likes to get dirty. He's gonna run somebody over if he has to. Big body. He's gonna make a difference this year for Texas. Lenore Sellers gonna carry the Gamecocks. I'm not saying that just because I'm a Gamecocks fan. I've seen him play. I've seen him in real life play. I've seen Cade too, but Lenore's just how he comes out, the spark he brings to the game. I love it. I think he's top 2.
Okay.
Don't forget about Aiden Childs at Michigan State.
Ooh.
At least number 1. Number 1 for sure.
Who?
I
that?
wish we in the ACC and SEC because I think we would dominate South Carolina and Clemson. I'm just saying. I think Aiden Childs would show
What?
up and
Who?
Heisman and
I don't
Cade. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Cole, you had Florida State.
Yeah, I just don't think it could get any worse at the quarterback position from what they had last year. So
Right.
there definitely has to be a step forward now that DJ is gone. And he had his times where he was good, but they got Castellanos from Boston College, and he was a spark for Boston College last year. And I just think, I mean, somewhere new, a new team, it can only go up from there as Florida State.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Do you think that they're like kind of holding on to some bad blood from 2 years ago with the playoffs that's just really held their mindset back?
If it was me, if that was what I was holding on to, I feel like it would maybe motivate me a little bit more and not slow me down. It would leave a bad taste in my mouth. So maybe the past 2 years, maybe, but at this point they got to move on. And Florida's got great football players. They just got to be able to recruit Florida as a state.
Right. And which is crazy because Florida State's one of those top dogs in NIL, so you'd think that they'd be, bringing in the people, but who knows? Does anyone have anything on Florida State?
Like he said, recruiting your own state, you have to get guys that want to go to Florida State instead of the Gators. You have to get them out of that.
Yeah. So Florida State's schedule, they start off this season with Alabama. How do we think Florida State is gonna do?
Never fun.
Never fun.
Playing Alabama at all, especially the first game of the year. I don't think it's close.
Whoever
Alabama
set that up, it was not a great idea. I don't think they need to be working for Florida State anymore. That was a bad idea.
Yeah. Okay, next up we have, let's look, Carson, you had good old North Carolina. Let's talk about Bill Belichick.
Tar Heels, man, the Tar Heels. They definitely had their ups and they've had their downs. They've been down for a while. Bringing Bill Belichick in it might be the spark they need. I mean, he's got a big name. He's won Super Bowls. He's built Tom Brady to the man he is. I feel like you get some young guys in there. Bill Belichick takes them under his wing. They could have some athletes out there in North Carolina.
I think adding Bill Belichick to your program cannot hurt your program in any way.
Right. But he went from NFL now, and again, maybe correct me if I'm wrong. If you're at the top of your game at NFL, you've won all these won all these Super Bowls. What would your motivation be to go to a non-existent school in football? I mean, in the late age that he is, like, I know it's Bill Belichick. I know what he did with the Patriots, but really, what's the motivation to take on this big project with UNC? I could see if he was like, okay, I'll go to Georgia, I'll go to Alabama, or I'll go to like a named school. What are your guys' thoughts on him moving from top-ranked NFL all the way down to college North Carolina?
It's the challenge of it. He's still competitive, even in his 70s. It's just a challenge of building a program and seeing if he can succeed at that level. And He can, and he will.
So the transfer portal, UNC, whether it's because of UNC football or Bill Belichick, they landed 41 players from the transfer portal and have 71 new players to their program. So that makes them the ninth best in the nation for transfer class.
You know who started this transfer and just completely cleaning house? And that's Dion. Primetime did that in Colorado, and he just basically said, you're off the team, you're not cutting it, and brought in these players out of the transfer portal, and he's built a pretty successful program at Colorado. So I think a lot of these teams and coaches are just following what Dion did, is we're going to get better, and this is how we're going to get better.
Yeah, basically starting from scratch. So Carson, how long do you think until they make it either to a bowl game or the playoffs under Bill Belichick?
First year is definitely going to be the hardest. You gotta see how the life is, college life. Definitely, college atmosphere is a whole lot different than the NFL atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
But I would give Bill Belichick 2 to 3 years. First year is going to be the hardest. 2 to 3, he'll be right where he needs to be, making the bowl game, some playoffs, but making a bowl game.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, I had Louisville. Carson, I know you were talking, I think, a little smack the other day with Louisville, or praise, one of the two.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
After Lamar Jackson, it just went downhill. Lamar Jackson was their peak. They should have retired his jersey. I think they did retire his jersey. They
might, yeah.
I think they might have, but that's exactly what they needed to do. Lamar Jackson was the best thing that ever happened to Louisville, and unless they call him to come back, they're never going to be that good again.
Yeah. So Louisville, they're playing Miami, they're playing Clemson, they're playing SMU. I do think with Carson Beck being with Miami, you have Cade Klubnik with Clemson. I think Louisville maybe gets lost in there, but I do believe Louisville plays Clemson pretty hard. I think over the years that they've played them pretty hard. So I wouldn't count them out completely out of the running with ACC, but we'll have to see.
They're not winning the ACC. Absolutely not.
I like the point you made about SMU. They're a solid football team. They came out. Yeah. They came out of nowhere and they made a little run.
Okay, so let's
winning the ACC either.
Let's do a hypothetical then. Colt, we have Boston College, Clemson, Duke, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Louisville, Miami, North Carolina State, North Carolina, Pitt, Syracuse, Virginia, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, Cal, Stanford, SMU. Who plays against each other to win the ACC title?
I don't think it really matters who Clemson plays. They're going to win the ACC.
Okay.
It's a cakewalk, honestly. When Florida State's good, Florida State is good, but Florida State is not who Florida State normally is, or the past couple years at least. But I could honestly see Clemson and SMU. I think they played in it last year. I could see the same two teams going back, but I really don't think it matters who Clemson plays in the in the ACC championship. It'll be a breeze.
So then why would Clemson want to move out of that division? Because what is it if they win the ACC champion, don't they automatically get a spot in the playoffs? So why would they want to move out of the ACC if they've dominated it for so long? Wouldn't that give them a better position in the playoffs?
TV contracts.
Yeah.
If you're in the SEC, you get bigger TV contracts.
More money in the SEC.
Which makes more money, which you can pay the NIL deals.
But it is a valid reason to want to stay in the ACC if you have that cakewalk every year. But if you want, that's a very good point. But them coming over to the SEC, I think it would be, like we said, more money, TV deals, all the better players would want to come there instead of having to pay them a little bit more money. They would be in the best conference, and they would want it a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay. Good point. All right.
Now
let's all do a drum roll because we've all been waiting to talk about this. The Big 12. Okay. Unfortunately, I didn't even do my notes for them. This might be quick.
Well, you got the primo team, the Big 12. It's easy to talk about Dion in primetime. And
absolutely.
Okay, so let's start with that. So today, Dion did a press conference with his health team. He's saying he's never been better. It goes back to Bill Belichick. With Deion Sanders, what would his motivation be in Colorado now that Travis Hunter isn't there and now that one of his oldest sons isn't there? I really don't think Deion is going to have that many more years at Colorado. One, if he gets any type of coaching with the NFL, I just don't see him putting in as much effort in Colorado now that he doesn't have his son as quarterback. That's my perspective. I don't think Colorado and the Big 12 have any type of leverage when it comes to TV deals, NIL, things of that nature. So I feel like he's probably just going to wait for this to fizzle out.
I think it's his time to come back to Dallas and go ahead and run the Eagles out of Philly. That's his best bet. That's his best bet right now.
Okay, so you want Deion Sanders to coach the Cowgirls?
It can't hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a marriage made in heaven, but seriously, here's the problem is you not only get Deion, you get everything that comes with Deion. And Deion doesn't come cheap, nor does he come without condition. And so Deion says to Jerry Jones, you want me to coach your team? Fine, but it's going to be my way. And Jerry Jones is going to be like, no, this is my team. It's going to be my way. And that's why the Cowgirls have these coaches. I'm sure that the call was made to Deion, come to Dallas. And I'm sure that Deion said, I'll come to Dallas, but it's going to be this way. And Jerry said, no, it's not going to be this way.
See, I don't think Deion got any calls from the NFL. That's why I think he's staying with Colorado and he's going to put on a face this year. I think Colorado's going to end with a losing season and then Deion's going to move on. I think if he were to move on this year, it would just be, oh, you were there for your son. So I think he brings his ego and personality into this year with proving he wants to be the coach for Colorado. But I think they're going to end in a losing season. He's going to move on. Maybe he's hoping for that NFL coach position, whatever that looks like. But that's what I think is going to happen. I don't see Colorado going anywhere this year. But that's my 2 cents. Okay, Brian.
UCF, University of Central Florida Knights. Charge on.
Okay.
I have a great friend that is a big, huge fan of the UCF Knights. I see a 4 to 5 win season for them. I just can't put together anything more than that. They have some exciting things happening there. They are competing against Florida and Florida State when it comes to recruitment. They are a smaller school, even though they're a pretty large school in the state of Florida. But in terms of Florida State, their school, and even Miami. So they have a tough road. They're not coming out of that conference.
Can we all just say that Michigan State's better than the University of Central Florida? Can we all agree on that?
No.
Nah.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, like I said, this is going to be great content for this Big 12. All right, Cole, Arizona. Give it to us.
I know it's tough. They had a quarterback wide receiver duo last year that was really probably top 10 in the country. But when you lose your wide receiver, big, tall, physical, athletic, number one, or I think he was picked number 8 to the Panthers this year, Tedororo McMillan. Once you lose a key piece of your offense, it's really hard to rebuild. I think if they can find somebody to replace him, which obviously big shoes to fill, but if they can find someone to just meet him halfway point, I think they'll be fine. But Big 12 it's getting bigger, it's getting better, so I think it will still be a tough road back.
Yeah, that's good. So when we talk about these teams, and I know we joke that they're, we don't have much content, but it does bring that big question. Arizona, Colorado, UCF, do we think is it fading because of these bigger conferences?
I think it really is. I think they're getting washed away because of the big CC Big Ten schools. I really do. I mean, they just keep going down the drain until they can, like Colt said earlier, the Cinderella team comes about.
Yeah.
But until that happens, they're just gonna get washed away. Keep getting washed.
Yeah. So Carson, you have, I'm assuming, the rival of Arizona with Arizona State.
Correct. Arizona State, Cam Scatterboo, Cinderella story.
Okay.
Cam Scatterboo is an absolute monster.
Okay.
He is in the NFC East now. He got drafted to the Giants. I mean, he's not going to do much, hopefully, against the Eagles.
No.
Hopefully he'll tear up the Cowboys.
Yes.
Hopefully he'll do that. But Arizona State, I just feel like they fall off again. They had their good year. Cam Scatterboo came out the woodwork. He's a very physical, dominant running back. He about tore up Texas by himself in the little run they had last year. I think Arizona State falls back off the map. I just don't see anything. I don't see another running back coming back in behind Cam Skattebo at Arizona State to keep up the legacy of that running back position.
Yeah.
Isn't this what makes college football so great? Is that we don't know who the next Arizona State is going to be. We don't know who that Cinderella team that's going to come out of nowhere that surprises everyone and just runs their schedule and has a 12-0 type season. We don't know who that's going to be, and that's what could be Coastal Carolina University out of the Sun Belt Conference, my friend.
Let's go, Sean.
Could very well
Sean.
be. Sean,
Come on,
let's
Sean.
go.
Let's
So
go.
it
Yes.
could be that. It could be them. We don't know,
Yeah.
but college football says, hey, everyone is going to dominate. That's what they are saying right now.
Okay,
We
so
don't
do
know
you
that.
think an Arizona State, a 12-0 record, gets in the playoffs before a 10-1 Alabama?
It depends
on
if they win
strength
their
of schedule. It
It all
depends on the
depends on the
committee.
loss.
Yeah.
It depends on the loss. It depends on the committee.
Yeah.
If it's a OT with Georgia, that's their loss.
It's going to be
Alabama still
very
stinks too.
hard to keep very strong, talented SEC teams out of that playoff because what do they want? They want ratings. They want great matchups.
Yeah.
They want the excitement and then the fan bases. They want all of this. And it's what makes it so great and so amazing and so awesome. Like, yeah, if you got Alabama, you got Georgia, you got Oklahoma, you got LSU, you got Texas, you got Heisman, all of these great teams coming out.
You just named all the SEC teams. The Big
Just
Ten
chaos.
has dominated the past 2 years. What was that?
Penn State
Heisman.
out of the Big
Oh, that'll
Ten.
be a great episode if he actually does win the Heisman. Okay, let's
Win,
go.
win.
When?
You got
Okay, when
win.
he wins it. Okay, so let's wrap up this episode with some predictions. Who do we think is going to be, in what conference is the national championship going to come from?
The SEC.
Okay,
It's back at the SEC.
okay.
I think it's hard not to say the SEC, but clearly the Big Ten's been there the past couple years, and Clemson's always going to be there. But I would say the SEC. That's what I would stick to.
Okay, Brian.
Big 12, Arizona State.
Cam Skattebo back at it.
No, my heart wants to say ACC. My head wants to say it could be Big Ten. But really, when you think about it intellectually and logically, you have to say SEC.
Okay. I think Big Ten.
3 in a row for Big
I
Ten.
don't,
Big Ten
Yeah.
takes it back.
Could be Penn State.
and I don't think Penn State has the cajoons to get it
Go
done.
Natty Lions.
Okay. All right, what's a surprise team that's going to make it to the playoffs this year?
Take the Gamecocks. I think I don't know if they're a surprise to everybody. I think they really do have a chance to make a deep run, special run. I don't know if they'll make it into the semifinals, Final Four, however it may be, but I think they have a chance to sneak in the playoff spot.
When's the last time they've been to the playoffs?
Never.
1943.
Never, ever, ever.
Have they ever
think
won a
it's fun.
national championship?
Yeah, they won it. I think they did in the 80s, didn't they?
No, not in football. Nothing in football.
They were good.
So-
They were good for a
Well-
while back in the 80s. No, but even in the 2000s, they were pretty
Yeah,
solid.
when,
too.
when we had
Debo?
Steve Spurrier, he was the coach for
Yeah,
however many years. We had like 3 or 4 11-win seasons in a row or something like that.
yeah. South Carolina's a quality program. For my boys here, I'm going to jump on that Carolina too. I think they could surprise some people.
There we go.
I love that. I love that Carolina pick. I'm gonna go out left field here. I'm gonna go with the Green Fighting Wave. Give me Tulane. Tulane sneaks in there. The Cinderella team.
Wow.
The
Okay.
Green Fighting Wave.
All
I mean, I really don't know what they have, but I feel like they're at the point where they're the Cinderella.
Which team?
I mean, the Tulane, the Green Fighting Wave.
Yes. Okay. I thought that was
I feel like they
Tulane.
sneak in there somehow, some way. Tulane makes it in.
All
Okay.
right, fun fact, South Carolina has never won a national championship, but Michigan State has won 7.
So
Boom.
That's
I don't
not
So
think
I
fun.
think-
Michigan State.
I think Michigan State is going to surprise us and end up in the playoffs. We're not playing Ohio State. We're not playing a lot of big people, but we are playing big people that we can win. So I think we're making it in there. So you
Yeah.
guys get Carolina, I get Michigan State. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Well, anything else you boys want to talk about other than we all love Michigan State?
Mm.
Thank you, Colt Gibbons, for joining the Huddle Report.
Of course.
Yes,
Awesome
yes,
sir.
work.
yes.
Come back and
So
join us again.
we
We are going to have week 1 of the NFL recap, and it's going to be amazing.
Yes,
You're right.
Yes.
You're exactly right. It's going to be awesome.
Yes. So Cole is a big, like you've heard this whole episode, is a big Cowboys fan. These Carson and Brian are Eagles fan. They kick off the NFL season playing each other. So Colt will definitely have to have you on if you're not a permanent guest already, but we're definitely going to have you on for talking some trash about the Cowboys beating down the Eagles.
There we go.
Yes,
Whoa.
that's
There we
calling
go.
it now. Yes, yes,
Oh.
yes.
Will never happen.
Yeah, that's
Ever.
never gonna happen.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us at the Huddle Report, and we will see you next week.
Like and subscribe.
Lenore's for so. Lenore's.
Let's go, Gamecock.
Wow.